Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Frostbite's podcast. We are at Mink Studios, as we always are, the home of the podcast. We love it here. And we had a wonderful time today. Our guest was Lannette McWilliams from COhatch. We've actually done a few events there, and it's a lot of fun. There's a ton to do there. It is a completely different kind of environment, and I highly recommend if you want to do an event, go there. We also had our co-host today, which was Jessica Towhey. Do not call her Jessie. She will not respond kindly to that. We want to really welcome everybody to the podcast, and I guess we'll see you guys on the inside. Thanks for coming. Hey guys, we're jumping right in today with Lannette, and our co-host today is Jess. Now,
Hello.
do you like Jess or do you like Jessica?
Either one is fine. I don't like Jessie. There's two people on the planet who can call me Jessie, and I don't want to commit a homicide. But outside of those two individuals, Jess or Jessica.
I think Toy Story when I hear Jessie.
Yeah.
It just doesn't fit me.
Yeah, I know. You're definitely not a Jessie.
No.
Yeah, I would never call her that. Would you call her Jessie?
No.
I would never call
I mean,
her
you're
Jessie.
welcome to try it once.
Oh, no.
No, I'm good.
But you know what? I might tell some people that you like that.
Gosh, that would be fun.
That would so be fun.
That would be the greatest
Because then
ever.
I wouldn't get in trouble for anything, and she could, maim some people for me.
Except that I would know your devious plot now, and so now there's a huge plot hole that I'd have to fill with a shovel and a bag of lime.
Yeah, but it would be fun to watch.
I think it'd be worth it.
I think it would. I totally do.
Well, now I'm on guard.
just watch April Fool's Day.
I just won't be
That's
introducing
great.
her to these people. Have someone else do it. I think that would be
gosh,
fun.
hey, do you know Kelly Frost?
They're like, nope.
I bet you don't.
Well, I'm glad to have you guys here today.
Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day in Pittsburgh. You know, this weather is just gorgeous again.
Of course.
We're back to the gray skies.
That's right.
I feel like that's Pittsburgh weather.
No. But
yeah.
you know, it's like the end, it's like the middle of November, and it's not a ton of snow.
No.
Not yet.
Yeah.
And we've
Fingers
been
crossed.
fortunate enough so far. So,
Yeah.
made
Yeah.
it through Halloween, and it wasn't snowing or raining or anything like that.
When I was a kid, Halloween was like, how many layers do you have to put on so you're not freezing your butt off? And
Yeah.
you brought your candy back, and it was almost frozen already. You lay it all out, and you're like, all right, what has snow on it, what doesn't?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not like that anymore.
It's not.
Yeah, it's
not.
crazy.
I kind of miss the snow.
I don't miss the snow.
I'm with you. I'm going to use some snow this year.
Yeah.
Could use some.
I'm okay with no snow, because then you don't have to go outside and shovel or anything else. But
Yeah.
You're really into Halloween, aren't you?
I am a little into Halloween.
I always do a little bit of research on people before they come, and I'm like, Halloween. I was like,
Oh, don't worry.
wow.
Christmas is the same thing.
Really?
Oh, yeah. We just haven't hit there yet. So,
So what did you dress up as for Halloween this year?
I had 3 costumes this year.
Yeah, so
For
you're just a little into
for
it.
different events. Let's see. I was a witch, a skeleton, and a scarecrow. Definitely scary. I'm a little known for the makeup that I do, so it's a little in depth.
Where does that come from?
I have no idea.
Really?
Well, I mean, I do have an art background, but I've just always been good at it. I don't know why, but I've had friends say you should go into this, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'll do it once a year. I'm good.
So what were you last year?
Last year when we had our grand opening for work, we were Cat in the Hat. So I was Cat in the Hat, but we did green and black instead of red and black. And then I had each of the team be thing 1, 2, and 3 on the way we opened.
That's
so
fun.
it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
You guys have fun at work, huh?
Yeah, we have a lot of fun.
All right, so tell us a little about
we do work too.
So you're at
COhatch.
which a lot of people probably don't even know what that is.
Yeah, so it's co-working office and event space, but we're all about building community and helping the community where we sit grow stronger. And it's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of fun. Not only obviously the events are fun too, but really seeing people connect with each other and build those connections. I get to see it every day, and it's always a different industry. Just kind of makes my heart whole.
Get into the details of that, though. How do you build community in a co-working space? Because when I'm sitting down to work, I'm head down in my work.
Yeah.
I'm either at my desk at home, head down working, distractions off. I'm at a coffee shop where I can tune out all of the noise and focus that way. How do you build that community when people are driving their projects at the same time?
Well, hats off to you for tuning out everybody in a coffee shop.
Yeah, I was
definitely gets really
Comes
loud.
out of newsrooms.
So the way our buildings are structured, they have. So we'll talk about waterfront. It's the easiest way to explain it. So there's one kitchen, and everything's kind of surrounded the kitchen. So everybody has to go there to eat their meal, get a drink of water, anything like that. So it's almost like that water cooler effect all the time. So people, yes, they do kind of hunker down, do their thing, but you can't just sit there for 12 hours a day looking at a computer. I mean, you could, but that's not really healthy.
It's not healthy.
Yeah, I know.
It really isn't. Make sure you look away.
Oh, got it. Wait, note to self.
Note to self, get up.
Yeah. Can you email me that note?
Yeah.
That's right. But we structure it to be an organic collision, really. So people in our space are from every different industry, really, and then they just come together and they start talking, and then we do member events and we do networking events on purpose to make sure folks meet each other. And then we have an impact program too that highlights all of our scholars. So we give scholarships for nonprofit and small businesses, and then we have a whole program for them to get them connected with each other too. So
the offices are built around that central kitchen to kind of force people into engaging. Yeah. And then the networking events, are they just for COhatch members? Are they open to other people? Are they open to people who are interested?
We have both. So we have people that can schedule their own, and then whether people are invited or not just kind of depends on what their event is. We schedule things to bring in the community too, and sometimes we do combine things. We do separate things for members that are just member-based as well. But yeah, we're always about bringing in the community. So, sometimes when I meet people and they say, hey, we do this and this and this, I say, oh, that would be great for, maybe our nonprofits, would you be willing to come in and speak and, maybe host something. So there's lots of ways. My wheels are always turning on like how I can either help somebody or get them connected. So
what's your title exactly?
So I am
everything.
Everything under the sun. No, I'm just teasing. So I'm the market leader. Most people don't understand that. They think, oh, you're marketing. But no, what it is I run the entire Pittsburgh market. So I'm in charge of everything from, expansion to running, making sure operations run fine, facility operations, meetings, events, all that stuff.
HVAC.
When
we're not getting that.
No, we're not kidding.
Really?
Yes, I've been on almost all of our roofs except for Shady Side. That's pretty up there.
It's kind of fun, though.
Not exactly my definition.
It's a learning curve.
It is definitely a learning curve. I'm not
step
afraid
off
of
the
heights,
edge.
but you don't want to be up on Shady Side's roof, in the middle of winter when stuff isn't working.
Says you.
So I actually had an event at the waterfront. First of all, I love that space down there. It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
So for Frost Executive Services, I had like a big event that was down there, and I shouldn't say big. I wanted to keep it intimate, but we had like tons of food, and we used their kitchen, which the kitchen is actually really, really cool. The one, it looks like a Beermeister, but it's water.
It's water. It's water, and it's regular and sparkling water.
Yeah, that's fun.
Which is fun.
I was like, wait a minute. wait a minute.
Wait,
I drink so much water. I was like, I need one of these in my house. I'm constantly like bringing in cases of water all the time.
Yeah.
I think that is like the coolest idea. And there's like wine in the fridge, like the beer fridge. It's like it's the opposite that's in there. It's really neat.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a wine fridge, and everybody loves our wine fridge. It's temperature controlled to red and white. And then we have beer in our Coke machines.
Yeah. Seriously, like it looks like a Coke machine, and it is.
It's beer.
It's a much better use of the space.
Yes, everything's
For sure.
backwards. I love it. Like they've thought of everything, but they have like a big space there, and then like the smaller spaces. But you can see everybody too. It's very light. It's very airy. Yeah. You don't feel like you're, in a little bubble, and you can't see anybody. And it was really, I had such a good time there. Yeah. But it was fun to set up there, and it was fun to teach there, and it didn't feel like work.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody else there felt like they were working, know, and they were just kind of getting through their day to day. And everybody that was there that was employed by COhatch were bubbly and happy, and they seemed like they were enjoying their job, which
well, they tell me they do too. So I'm glad that
she was not there.
So I was not there that day.
Yeah. So it's not like they were putting on a show for Lannette, but they really did, and they were very helpful and kind of.
We have a great team. I'm really blessed with the girls that we have on the team, and now I have a team. There's 5 of us now. That's always such a big step when you can add an extra person. So young in the game. I mean, February will be 2 years that Waterfront opened, which I can't even believe. And the other 2 locations opened last June. So we just hit a year. Year and a half. I guess it will be next month. So. It's great. What I love about Waterfront is it used to be a Gap and Baby Gap. Looks nothing like it used to.
No.
And we put 5 skylights in there, so it doesn't feel like this old warehouse kind of situation. So in the middle is the big skylight, and it is amazing to sit in our little blue chairs when it's raining right there. So that is my favorite spot. Like I have favorite spots at each. I always say I can't say which location's my favorite. It's like having kids. You can't. I mean, we all know, but, but that's definitely my favorite spot at Waterfront.
Very
and
cool.
Plus, it's the first one. It is like watching your kids grow up because I got to see it from very beginning. Construction, I'm out on, I always say boots on ground, like marketing and letting people know, and everybody's like, well, what's coworking? What's a COhatch? So it's a lot of education to Pittsburgh, but I think everybody's coming around and understanding. So
it just takes time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody asks me, what's peel? What's that?
Yeah.
Same thing when it's a different word they haven't heard of. Yeah. COhatch is a different kind of word.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So you've got a really varied work background. How did you wind up as the COhatch Market Lead?
So, yes, I do have a very different work background. So, way in the beginning, I started out with my art degree that it was very different times back then. There wasn't the connections like you can do now, and I just wasn't as smart that way back then. Ended up getting into healthcare, just needed a job. Aetna Insurance was hiring. My friend's like, oh, it's $5 more an hour. Granted, I'm much younger. I won't say how young I am. Anyhow, stayed in healthcare, moved up. I was in healthcare for 23 years.
Wow.
So I started, kind of as a peon, right? Just data entry type positions. Decided to go back to school. I have a whole history of school. We won't go into that. But anyway, I went back to school, finished my bachelor's, got into finance. I was trained in budgets and for the it's Allegheny Health System now, AHN. Now, back then it was West Penn, Allegheny. Anyway, running around, up to Kiski, New Kensington, and all that.
Did you say it that way for my benefit? Because I have no idea where places in Pittsburgh and
they don't call it Kiski anymore. I forget what it's called.
I can't even find that on a map.
Out 28. How about that? Way out 28.
That road terrifies me.
Anyway, so ended up doing training and having a budget meeting over at Forbes and talked to the director for Forbes Hospice back then, great lady, Marianne Fellow, and she needed an office manager for the hospice, so ended up, and my son was super young back then, a little, I think it was 1.5 or something, Anyways, so ended up getting that position. I loved hospice. It was just so rewarding. I did that for a very long time. Ended up getting out of it when my mom got, a little bit after my mom got sick, and she did pass away on hospice too. And then the pandemic happens. So in the midst, of course, I finished my degree and everything. Pandemic happens. I worked for a skilled facility group and got laid off, which was not the fun experience that it should have been, I guess. And decided at that point, about 6 months later, go back to school and get my MBA, because I'd already had all the leadership experience, but I was just I didn't know what the pandemic was going to bring and what that was going to do career-wise. So I decided, nobody can ever take your education away. So I kind of go all in, 2 feet hard. So I decided to do a dual master's. Why not?
Oh, of course, why not? As one does. Yeah. No, totally. It's Tuesday. Let's just do that.
Right, exactly. So when I had about 7 months left of school, now I was not hunting for jobs, let me tell you, because, I'm doing 3 hours of homework every night, plus all through the weekends and running a family and whatever. So I kept getting this ping through LinkedIn from COhatch, and I'm like, what is a COhatch? Who are these people, and why do they keep messaging me? So I don't know, about 4 or 5 times later, I'm like, maybe God's trying to tell me something.
It's that whisper.
So I'm like, that seems
eventually
like some
becomes
kind
a kick in the butt.
Right.
Hey.
Hey. I'm like, okay, fine. So I click it. It's like one of those fast applies. It seemed like it was about 3 minutes later. I'm sure it wasn't 3 minutes later, but it was the same day. I get a call from one of our founders, and he's like, hey, you applied to our position. And then, the rest is history. So I still had more school to get through, and somehow I did that. I don't ask how, and got all 3 sites up and running.
I know,
I go all in.
Achieve it and get it done.
Did you start with COhatch after you graduated or while you were in school?
I was still in school.
So yeah, you're crazy too.
Yeah, I am a little crazy. And I have a very supportive husband. I just want to put that out there. So, I've let my type A side sit aside for a couple years and worrying about how clean the house was. And we'll just say that. But that's definitely caught back up. But anyway, it's funny what you have to kind of put aside to really, make things go through.
Yep.
But yeah, it's been a crazy wild ride.
Well, you seem to really like it.
I love it. I just do, I feel like I live and breathe it all the time, and when you love what you do, it just kind of exudes out of you anyway,
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's going well. So that's a plus.
Yeah.
That definitely helps.
That definitely helps. Yeah.
Yeah, when it's going well, you kind of like going to work.
Yeah, I kind of like going to work.
Yeah, when it's a shit show, you don't like to go as much.
Yeah, and sometimes it's that. Well, not really, but
they can be fun to watch.
That stuff happens, but yeah. And then you sit there and think, well, sometimes I'll tell, the team, when we all have a crazy day, well, you know what? We're not saving lives. It's okay. We might be changing lives, but we're not saving them. So it's all right,
So do you get to see new faces every day?
Just about. Almost every day.
Yeah.
I see, obviously, all the ones that we see all the time. But because anyone can schedule meetings or events, so there's always something going on at one of the locations. And I'm usually a bop in between at least a couple, well, not every day, but a lot.
So will you get to start traveling outside of the Pittsburgh region to see the other ones?
So I do that sometimes. I did that a lot in the beginning, like when I was training. And, we have grand openings that are pretty big parties. So we get invited to a lot of those as well. I haven't gone to any for a little while, just trying to focus on Pittsburgh and really developing and growing here. But yeah, that is an opportunity sometimes.
Because I was looking at the other locations, and I saw Anna Maria
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Like if anything ever happens there, I would be happy to go with you. I love it there.
I will definitely
mean,
tell everybody else.
It's amazing. And I was looking at that. I was like, wow, they have a location there. I'm like, and then there was like,
So that's
as a
our
member
beach
benefit.
house. Yeah,
I was
yeah.
wait a minute. A member benefit is like a vacation?
Yes.
I was like, hang on. I think I need to be a member.
It's kind of like an Airbnb. Yeah. There's a heavily discounted amount to go there. So that's definitely one of the member benefits. They were hit a little bit by the tornadoes and stuff, or the hurricanes, but
I'll go help.
Badly. You're gonna help restore. But luckily that was not in the direct path or anything. So and all of our cohatches down in Florida, did okay. Which we were in our members. Everybody got out in time. So thankfully everybody was safe.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I mean, it's about that time. It's November.
Yeah.
Snowbirds and all. So I mean,
exactly.
I'll fly.
But one of the benefits is you can go to all of our locations. Right now we have more than 30 locations across several states. We're up in Ohio, Florida, Indy, Charlotte, and we just moved into Atlanta too. So we're actually building our second location already. So our goal is to get across the United States. So
what's your goal?
I have lots of goals, I really want to get Pittsburgh bigger. Our goal is to have somewhere around, 12 to 15 sites surrounding Pittsburgh. So I really want to make sure that definitely gets up and running and all that kind of stuff. But I have some bigger goals, more to come on that.
Good.
Yeah,
well, you have to. You have to short and long term. And
Yeah,
a lot of people don't have any goals.
Yeah.
And they're just like, my goal is to wake up and go to work and come home.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's okay.
Yeah, sometimes that's okay.
But if that's your only goal, it's
that may be my goal for next week.
Right.
But after that.
No,
you definitely have goals.
My short-term goal is to get my son through his senior year of high school.
And good luck.
Transitioned into college. Yeah.
That's so you're wearing purple. Is that like a sign for your son getting through school?
Oh, no. Well, sure. No. I just like purple.
Well, it's a really good color for you.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, it's very complimentary on your skin tone.
Thanks. Good to know.
So you have one son, right?
Yeah, just one son. My father lives with us. He's been living with us since my mom passed away, so it's been about 9 years he's been in the house with us. That's fun. And no swearing. And of course, I'm married too. So we just celebrated our 27th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
We've been together.
You look way too young to be married for 27 years.
I know. I love shocking people like that. So we had Nathaniel about 10 years in. So, but just one. And a dog. I do have a female in the house. I have Luna. You guys sometimes will see I'll do In the Life of Luna, LOL, on Facebook sometimes.
Cute.
Yeah.
What kind of dog is it?
She's a lab greyhound or lab Weimaraner mix. So she's all black. She's a sweet pea. Jessica's dogs matter. we
always say about
we took a little nature walk. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
My little spaz dog was bouncing here and there and here and there, and Luna's just like,
she's like, whatever. Yeah. I'm just smiling. She's definitely the smiley dog. She's always like.
Where did you guys walk at?
Where did we walk at?
It was outside of South Park. It was in between South Park, Mount Lebanon. I'm not sure. We found some off
the first
probably
place
somebody's
that
backyard. Honestly,
didn't work. So we found something
I'm just
else.
Teasing. So your son's in high school though, right? He's
a senior at Baldwin. Yeah.
That's where the purple came from.
Well, it could be that too.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
That's what I was saying. I was trying to get to that one. I was baby stepping.
That was a good segue.
That was a good
Neither
intro.
of us picked up on.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'm like, I don't know.
Subtle.
It's the outfit I picked out this morning.
She was feeling regal and bringing royalty
right.
and presence.
There we go.
Connotations.
Yes.
That's right.
Right.
All of that.
It's what currently fits. I don't know.
I got that too.
Oh, right. We're not going to go there. Is he going to go away to college?
Well, so he wants to be a biomedical engineer.
Sure.
Which I thought was kind of cool because, I was in healthcare for so long.
Well, we all want to do that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Right, yeah.
Some of us just aren't smart enough.
Yeah, including me. So he has it narrowed down to 10 schools.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
I think Pitt and Penn State are his faves
Oh,
because
wow.
they're right here,
Penn
But
State, yes.
we visited 6 different schools throughout the last 2 summers because we wanted to kind of get ahead of it. And we went to Virginia Tech over the summer, and it is a beautiful school. But when they told me that housing's only guaranteed for the first year, I'm like, all right, this is like number 7 on your list, right? Because like I'm not fighting to get housing for you. It's only guaranteed for freshmen.
Wow.
And then they have to
That's
get
tough.
apartments. And
Yeah.
I'm like, this is weird. And it takes 5 hours to get there from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And if you fly, they're 3 hours from the airport. So, yeah, it's a little bit remote, you know. I don't know. We'll see where you get, because he says that, and he also applied to Texas A&M, Florida Tech, you know.
The Longhorns.
Yeah. So trying to get him to go to my alma mater, Grand Canyon, but he won't go to Arizona. He's like, Mom, I don't want to go to Arizona. I'm like, well, then go to the beach, you know. So anyway, we're working through that
So
stuff.
many options now. It's insane.
Oh, and everyone. We have, you think we had a lot of political mail? We have so much
Oh my
mail.
God. It's probably out of
It
control,
is,
the
yeah.
college recruiting.
Oh, it's
'Cause your kid's
insane.
smart, obviously.
Right. So he's smart. He is in 3 varsity sports. So there's that too, which it's funny how you forget when you were back in school that usually the athletic ones are not the ones getting the high QPA, right? Or GPA. Not always. Well, at least for certain sports. So, you know, then I was in 9th grade, he actually got contacted by somebody for soccer. And they were like, 9th grade? I'm like, yeah, they're not supposed to get, because they're not legally allowed to. So they kind of contacted us through somebody. But
Oh, nice.
but that's not the sport he wants to do in college. He wants to swim, and he is an excellent swimmer. So, and he's very tall. So it doesn't take him long to get across the pool.
Does he have like a wingspan? Yeah.
He's 6'5" now.
Oh my gosh. How tall are you?
I'm 5'8".
How tall's your husband?
About 6'2", 3-ish.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
So, you know, between that and I guess all the chicken and milk and stuff.
You know, all the hormones.
Showing in healthy living.
I don't know. I guess we breed them to be bigger. I don't know what to tell you.
6'5", that's tall.
He's
That is
very
tall.
tall. He has a size 15 shoe now.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
when he walks, it's like...
For some reason, it's not like
Do that again.
Yeah, it's so funny. So
Wow.
he had a size 13 shoe when 14 shoe when he was 13 years old. And I thought that was going to happen too, because he wasn't, I mean, he was over 6 foot already, but,
Wow.
you know, but he, or maybe right under. Anyhow, so I thought there would be a lot of tripping and, you know, knee pain and all that kind of stuff. And luckily he didn't go through a lot of that. But I really think it's because of swimming. He's literally been swimming since he was 4 on some kind of train situation. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, swimming's one of the best things you can do for your body.
for
so
sure.
Really healthy.
Yeah.
I'm sure that probably helped
Yeah.
a lot with...
Oh, it does. Yeah. Oh, he likes to sing too. So he used to sing for Pittsburgh
Hang on a
Youth
second.
Choir.
Smart, athletic, can sing,
Oh, he
Can reach anything.
can reach anything on the tall shelves.
which he's very proud of. I just want you to know.
Well done on having an awesome kid.
Well, thanks.
right?
Well, I only did it once, so I guess, you know, I guess it
You
had
had
to
to
come
get
out
that one
okay, right? No, we're really blessed with him. He's a good kid. So
And he's a nice kid, too.
yeah, he's down there.
He's a nice kid.
yeah. Usually.
Yeah, all of the Romans.
Yeah.
So does he have a girlfriend? That's the question.
Of course he does. We used to laugh because when he was younger, he was in all the musicals and everything. So back when he was in 6th grade, he did the Little Mermaid musical, and he was King Triton and had the mermaids. And I swear that picture, he's like, they gave him like this bodysuit to make him look like he was buff, right? And he has all these girls. And from then on, I'm like, he always has like his harem of girlfriends. Like there's always a group of them, and it's hilarious. So anyway,
Because
so
he's smart,
I
he's
know.
athletic.
but he doesn't see it.
And he can reach the top
and he
shelf.
can reach the top shelf.
He doesn't see it. He doesn't realize
good.
it at all. But
Keep
yes,
it that
he has
way.
been dating someone for a couple years. But they were friends. Like they started swimming together. That's how they knew.
Sorry,
each other.
young ladies listening to this, he's off the market.
For the moment. We'll just say.
Wow.
We'll see how that goes. Anyway, but no, she's super sweet. We love her too. So,
That's good. It's always nice to like the girlfriend.
I know.
It's a challenge if it's not a
Yeah.
nice girl.
Yeah. But we all know, this is young. We'll see what happens. He's only 17. Just saying,
isn't it? Wow.
Yeah.
It's a whole different ball game.
It is a whole different ball game.
fun, though.
Can't control them as much as you want.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. I was going to say,
I try to keep a balance, there are some things where I'm like, absolutely not. I actually will text that to him, absolutely not, get home.
But it's good that he listens.
He does listen.
Yeah,
Because
that's good.
he knows better, even though I'm much shorter now. I never thought I was short until he got taller at like 10 years old, I think. I was looking eye to eye to him at 10. I was like, what happened to my little Nathaniel?
But so what you said about texting, absolutely not. And caveat, I don't have kids, so I don't know what it's like to be a parent, but I feel like you see a lot anymore of parents trying to be friends and trying to be the cool parent instead of putting the foot down and saying no.
Well,
You
and
need
there's
boundaries.
ways to
You
do
need
that.
rules,
Yeah.
and you're going to.
Yeah.
We're going to cooperate on these things. I'm going to guide you
Yeah.
into being a fully functional adult.
Yeah.
That you can analyze situations, you can make decisions. You're going to make mistakes, but let's figure these out as the parent and as the child.
Yeah, and my mom gave me the best advice when my son was really little. She's like, yes, you have to watch them when they're little, but you really have to watch them middle school, high school, even into those early 20s. That's when you really have to know where they're at, what they're doing. She goes, but you have to have a balance on not being the hovering parent either. But I've learned to kind of incorporate, like I take him and his girlfriend out to dinner every once in a while because she's in her freshman year at Chatham, and I know they don't have money, so I'll take them somewhere nice, not too nice, not too expensive, but just to get them, they're not hanging out at a dorm somewhere, so there's ways that I've nicely kind of watched over, but still giving him some freedom, but also kind of laying down the law, like, the
It's
two
hard.
of you need to get through school.
Yes.
Just saying that.
It's hard not to be a helicopter parent.
Yeah.
It really is. Because you want to, especially in this day and age,
Right.
you want to be just watching them.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you smother too much,
Right.
Yeah. The opposite happens.
Right. Yeah, you have to be careful. But it's funny because I take so much from like how my parents raised us, and I know we all complained about back then. But some of it, like, it's very valid, and you still kind of have to stick to the rules and the time frame. You have to be home. You are only 17, and like I know you want to see her every day, but you still have homework, or whatever. So
Is he driving?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's funny how boys, like as soon as they turn 16, they're like, yeah, I already know how to drive. I'm going.
Oh, he had no idea.
No?
So we weren't sure. I wasn't sure if some of his friends showed him or not.
Okay.
So I take him up to Baldwin's parking lot. Oh my gosh, it was hilarious. I'm like, okay, so let's see what you know. Like, okay, park, drive, Yeah, he didn't know. He didn't know where the turn signals were. And I was like, okay, good. Well, that's good, So a friend of mine actually took a picture of me in the car with him the first day, and I was like,
Is that not the happiest face you've ever had?
oh yeah. Not sure my stomach felt that way. But no, he's a good driver. So that all worked out fine.
So I learned how to drive at Harrison,
Oh, nice.
which is the junior high in Baldwin. And my dad took me, and it was like the middle of winter.
Yeah.
And we went in his little Toyota Camry,
Oh, nice.
which was like the tomato soup color. And he goes, all right, well, we're going to learn how to drive like in the weather that's like this.
Yeah.
Which there was no school, so it was snow covered.
Yeah.
Nothing was plowed. And he's like, all right, slam on the gas. And I was like,
Oh, that's smart though.
That is, so you know
in
how
an
to
empty
stop
parking
and all
lot.
that.
Yeah, when the wheels are spinning.
So I'd slam on the gas, and he's like, all right, hit the brake. And I'm hitting the brake, and I was like, oh my God. Yeah. But you just started like spinning out of control. But the only thing I'm going to really hit is a curb.
Right.
But they were far off.
Yeah.
But that is how I learned how to drive in Pittsburgh weather when it's not plowed well. So, but in that parking lot back then, at least, it would go up a hill, and then there's another parking lot up top.
Yeah.
So then it was like, all right, let's learn how to drive up a hill when it's not plowed.
When it's not plowed, what do you do?
Welcome to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not afraid to drive when the weather is not great, where some other people are like, oh my God, I'm not going out. There's no way I'm driving in this. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And
I'm usually the one picking everybody up.
As am I.
Yeah. I used to have staff that would be like, oh, I can't make it to work. I'm like, I'll pick you up. It's right on the way. No problem.
Yep.
You know, same thing. I went up to TJ and my mom did the same thing. Except I drove a 1978 Pontiac station wagon back then, 21 feet long. And that is what I took my test into.
Pea soup green.
It was not. It was brown. It was not paneled.
I was just going to say, was it a Woody?
No,
Tell me it was a Woody.
It was not a Woody.
It's a wood paneling.
It was not a Woody, but it was like two-tone brown.
That's awesome.
And
It's
when
really brown just has one tone.
Oh, yeah. When I took my test, I would never forget, the cop didn't fit in the front seat because he was a big guy, and like those were bench seats back then.
Oh, gosh.
So he had to sit in the back. Okay, here's me, Miss Teenager, like, oh my gosh, he's going to watch me from the back seat. So he sat here, so I could definitely see him, you know. And so, you know, I'm all nervous. I do the serpentine, all that stuff. I get parked. And he's like, honey, you can park this like nobody's business, and you should probably drive trucks. And I was like,
That's great career advice.
Okay. And I was just like, oh, good. I passed. I'm good. So I've never, you know, but the very first day, I'll never forget. We all remember that, right? The first day that you drive. So I'm up in TJ parking lot, and my mom's taking me around. I'm like, oh, this is great. You're doing fine. So I come down Old Clareton Road, come to where Gill Hall is, if you guys know. So I go to make a left turn, okay? Making a left turn. My second left turn I've ever made, you know, on a street, because I turned out of the high school. And I forgot to straighten the wheel after I made the left turn. I almost plowed into this guy's front door, an old guy. And I was like, oh! And my mom's like, okay, put on the brakes, put on the brakes, put on the brakes. So, of course, I slam on the brakes, and I'm probably, I mean, it was close. It looked like I was inches, maybe not inches. But so then the old guy, I'm surprised I didn't give him a heart attack, but he was like, it's okay, honey, it's okay. Aww. And I was like, okay. And I turned away, I'll pull over. I'm like, Mom, you're driving the rest of the way home. I got over that, but, you know, I mean, I was doing like 5 miles an hour down Old Clareton Road, you know, of course. And I thought that was fast back then.
Well, I love the stickers, the bumper stickers now that say "Student driver, please be patient."
Please don't do that.
Yeah, those
like,
are just
don't
new.
do that.
But that's also
like
kind of embarrassing,
it's
especially
embarrassing
if you're
for the
not
kid.
the student driver. You're the adult then driving the car. Because I'm driving up past you, going, "Really?"
Yeah, we did not do that for Nathaniel. I was like, I'm not putting this on your car.
Yeah, we didn't.
Good for you.
Yeah. Like, we're not embarrassing you or me. Because some people drive like this anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, I just saw somebody posted something on one of those like Facebook pages.
Yeah.
And it said, I'm so tired of everybody passing me on Corrigan Road. I'm doing 25 miles an hour and they're passing me and honking at me and I don't like it. I don't understand. And I'm like, really? Do you really not understand why people are getting upset? They're passing you and you're doing 25, like.
Yeah.
Like Tunces, like the little cat that's driving. I'm like,
yeah.
You know, maybe you should just be in the right-hand lane or just what. It was just like, all these people are just, and then they're like anonymously like that. I'm like, yeah, people have stuff to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
It's not like they're doing something wrong.
Right.
They just have lives.
That's for sure.
You know?
That's for sure. And, you know, Corrigan Drive's been kind of known in the past to, you know, race down. I'm just saying. way young earlier.
I mean, I doubt it's Corvettes that are doing
I
that.
have no idea.
Yeah. Well, back in the day they were, but
We will get
back
into
in
that.
those days.
That was like, so growing up in the South Hills, whenever you were in high school, that was like the place to be, was South Park.
Okay.
And like each school had like their little turf and where they went, and everybody would drive down Corrigan. It was like, all right, guys, it's our turn. Everybody would like drive down and meet up down there. And
Try not to get caught by the cops and you
Right.
know,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
it was actually a lot.
It actually was.
But it kept us out of trouble. We weren't
Yeah.
doing dumb stuff or, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And back then, nobody had like cell phones.
Yeah,
So
no one
that's
had
how
cell
you met all
phones.
your friends. You know, you were at home, busy
And you
signaling, you
call.
waited.
Yeah. Or call waiting.
dialing.
Dialing.
You know, and it's like, all right, well, we'll just go to the park. Everyone's there
Yeah,
anyways.
Yeah.
But that's what you had to do.
Yeah,
You know?
for sure.
Not that I'm showing my damn age or anything, but yeah.
No,
That's okay. We're kind of all sharing.
Yeah, it's fun. But it's fun to see like the kids now. And, you know, you listen to your kids and they're telling you things like, oh, you should have seen what we did. And you're like, well, you did not like make that up. Like,
Right.
we used to do that stuff 30 years ago.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. Okay.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, a parenting fail that I can remember. And this is a while ago. We were at like, I don't know, if it was Best Buy or something.
Okay.
And we were going over, and this is a while ago.
Yeah.
So we still had a landline. And we wanted to replace one of our phones, our cordless phones.
Yeah.
So we were over in that section, and my son came over, and he was like, what's wrong with that phone? And I said, what are you talking about? He goes, what's that one there? He's like, what's wrong with it? And I said, what do you mean? He goes, there's like a cord thingy that's going from that to that,
wow.
that part. He goes, what's wrong with, why is that attached like that? And I'm looking at him, I'm like, what? It's just a normal phone. It's just not a cordless phone. He's like, what do you mean it's not a cordless phone? Why is it all attached like this? How do you talk? I'm like, oh my God. It's just a normal
just a
phone. Like it
phone.
goes on the wall. And
Yeah.
he goes, well, then how do you walk around with it? I go, you don't.
You don't.
You
You
don't.
just have to.
Yeah,
He goes, you just stand there and talk. I was like, let's
Yeah.
go. It's time to go.
Yeah. It's time to go.
I was like, I'll show you photos of like your grandma's house.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, yeah, that's how you used to have to talk. I was like,
Right.
you just, you know, you're in your kitchen and, you know,
you
usually
sit
you end up
down.
sit on the floor and you have a conversation.
Right,
So
right.
he was like, oh, that's awful. I was like, well, you'd appreciate things if
A
you
little bit better. Yeah.
He was like, oh, yeah, that's, yeah. But like, when he was telling me that, I was like, wow, that's a parenting
That's like
fail.
Ellen did an episode one time a long time ago
Mm-hmm.
and put like, you know, probably teens to early 20s and put like a rotary phone, you know, like all these different things that, you know, they didn't know, you know, and they were like, how do you do this? And it was so funny to see, like, you'll have to look it up anyway, but she did that once too.
Did they not know what to do?
They had no idea.
idea.
I mean, they're picking it up and they're like, how do you get these buttons to get like the rotary? They're like, hello? Like, you know, like they had no idea. It was so funny.
But think about that though. They'll never know the sheer joy of slamming
Yeah.
the
phone down.
because just a little think doesn't
it
do
doesn't
it.
do it.
Caller ID, so you were always surprised at who was on the other
Right.
end of the phone.
Right? Yeah.
Which I think is
A
a little
busy signal.
traumatizing.
A busy
Busy
signal.
signal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Or
being
cars
instant.
that have the winding windows.
Oh, yeah, I still have one of those.
Do you really?
I have a 1975 Ford Granada.
Okay.
It has, actually, fun story, fun fact. My car was actually in the Netflix series Mindhunter.
no
So you
way.
can see it all through there. It's a blue. It's like that weird blue from the 70s. It was my great aunt's car. She gave it to me for my birthday, like, probably 10 years ago now. And, but yeah, it has the little cigarette things in the back.
Yeah,
you
that's
used
awesome.
to push the
Yeah,
little
yeah.
cigarette butt area and then ashtray, I guess. Sorry.
Ashtray in the kid
ashtray in
area.
the back. Yeah. Bench seats for sure. Yeah.
Sweet. So how did the Netflix production find you in your car?
So there was something on Facebook that said, hey, we need 70s
oh, okay.
family cars. So a friend of mine collects a whole bunch of different kinds of cars, but hers aren't that. She has like BMWs and things like that. So anyway, she's like, I think your car would like work for this. I'm like, all right, I'll reach out, you know. So I reach out. Of course, they call me immediately. They're like, can you send us pictures of the car? And I'm like, sure. you know? So, like, yeah, you're hired. And I'm like, hired? I get paid for this?
Every day, right?
That's
awesome.
every day. It's not a lot, but it's still every day. So the cool thing is, so this was probably right after my mom died. So, so I call my dad. I'm like, hey, Dad, I'm like, can you like come with me to drop off this car? Because I have to drop it off at 5 a.m. At like, let's see, we were in Lawrenceville, Washington, Jefferson College. I mean, we were everywhere.
So would you drop it off every day?
Well, yeah, let me get back to that.
Okay.
So the first trip I had to go to Washington, Jefferson College. They set up, do you guys remember Hertz car rental?
Yeah.
So they set up a pretend Hertz car rental that looked like the photo booth. Remember the photo hut? So it looked like a photo
With
hut.
the glass on top.
It was just like this, I don't know, square box in the middle of a parking lot, and you used to like pull up to a photo hut. Do you remember that? Okay. So that's what this thing looked like, but it was Hertz. Okay. And then mine was supposed to be a rental car, and then they pretended it was a taxi. They put the old-fashioned taxi sign on it, and I don't know, somehow I think they changed the color for that. But anyway, not really. But so I go there, and I wish I could remember the actor's name, but I don't. But the main actor, so like they let me eat and sit there all day and watch the filming of this movie. I'm like, this is really cool, but I can't keep taking days off like this because at the time I was a hospice director. So I was like, I don't have unlimited vacation,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
So we worked out a deal where I literally would give them the car for the week as long as I dropped it off at the first spot. And they'd film all week, and then they'd even give me overtime if they used it overtime. They're very honest about it. And then I'd pick it up. That went on for a few months. So my dad and I got up very early many times, dropped off the car, and, you know, and then my dad actually got to meet all these people from California. And my dad, like, he's so, like, humble. He worked at J&L Steel, a Neville Chemical Company. Definitely not as social as I am, we'll say. But he was like, you know, chumming up with the car guys that fix all the cars. So the guys opened this garage, and at the time they had to keep shifting locations because they kept getting more cars and they needed more space. But at the time they were down in the Strip and in this old warehouse. So he opens up the garage, and I'm telling you, it was like looking in my childhood. It was like the cop cars that had the bars across the top,
Oh, yeah.
all that old stuff, right? And so, like, we spent, I don't know, 3 hours down there, the two of them talking. I'm like, Dad, I do need to get back to work. I'm like, I can come back and get you, like, if you just want to stay. But it was a cool experience for him, too. So I do still have the car.
Very
So,
cool.
Yeah. Every once in a while I put it in Brentwood's parade and things like that. Yeah.
That's a small parade.
Yeah, it's a small parade.
That's very cool.
Yeah, but that was a fun experience. I don't know, stuff like that just happens sometimes. You know?
Well, I mean, Pittsburgh does film a lot of movies here,
Yes.
and they do that a lot.
Yeah,
my
yeah,
parents had their vehicle, and She's Out of My League.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they had like a green Sebring, and they were asking for vehicles that were convertibles and colored.
Nice.
So up in Mount Washington, there's a scene where they're walking.
Yeah.
They walk past my parents' car.
Oh, that's cool.
When my dad retired, he was bored and said that he wanted to start doing extra work.
Oh, nice.
So he got in with a company that's in Pittsburgh, and
Oh, nice.
he's probably done 10 or 12 movies. And at the time, I had gone back to school.
Yeah.
So it was all like online and things.
Yeah.
And he said, oh, you should come do some extra work with me. We could bond. This could be fun. So when your dad says stuff like that to you.
Of course you just do it.
you're like,
Of course you do.
So then you're on a set for 12 hours.
And you're like, oh.
It's a lot of bonding.
a lot of bored thing because you only do something for maybe half an hour here
Right.
and there.
Yeah.
So I sat with it was nice to sit with my dad. And,
Yeah.
You know, this is a while ago, but
Yeah.
you know, when Ryan Reynolds comes walking like towards you, you're like, oh, this was worth it. This was worth
Yes,
it.
this is totally worth it.
My dad's like, is that the guy that you think's hot?
Yeah, thanks.
Yep,
Thanks, Dad.
yes,
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you.
Yeah, and he looks at you like,
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, he's like, he just looked at me. I'm like, Dad, oh my gosh, inside voice, inside voice.
My dad's done a couple things like that before too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Well, it's been fun having you here today.
Well, thanks for having me.
I know, time goes by so fast.
It does.
Well, we like to end all of our interviews with a little frostbite question.
Okay.
And I always let the co-host ask the question.
That is my cue.
So we'll see what she's come up with. They're very easy questions.
Okay. No stress. No pressure.
No stress. Yeah.
No pressure.
Yeah.
Lannette.
Look at that look.
Okay, maybe a little stress.
Yes, Jessica.
When the world gets icy and progress feels slow, what's the frostbite that keeps you moving forward?
Take a deep breath.
That's a good one. Yeah, just take that pause.
Just take a pause. And one step at a time. Yeah, I actually just gave similar advice to a friend of mine that was going through a hard time. And I said, sometimes you just have to take it minute by minute. Once you get past that, hour by hour, day by day, and you will get through it. So,
Perfect.
yeah.
Great advice. Great advice.
Well, and I think that's something we all forget sometimes is that no matter what's going on, you do have to take a step back and just take that breath.
And it's okay. And it's okay.
And it's okay. And
It
it's
is
good
okay.
and it's needed for take a little break, sit down, collect your thoughts, take a walk.
And
do
it's
something.
okay to do nothing. I know that
That's a
lot of
really
us-
important message right now, though.
It is. Yeah.
Yep.
It is. Yeah.
It's sometimes because what I've learned is that if you just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, the universe, your body, your own brain, something is going to
it's
send
just
you the
gonna-
message that says, I'm putting you down for a day, or I'm
Right.
putting you down until you recover. And it's because we're scattered. We're going in 27 directions
Yeah.
all at the same time.
Yeah. We sure are. I think that's
Hi there.
I think that's a female thing a little bit.
There's just so much pressure to
Yeah.
just do.
Yeah.
And just
She said doo-doo.
She did say
I did. I said it several times. Well, there's pressure to do that as well.
All right, guys. Well, that's another episode of Frostbites with so much great advice today. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Bye.